Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So, I'm back. I disappeared for like a month, kind of. I had lots of plans for November and videos and stuff, but then I got sick, and then the election happened, and yeah, so, and then I had to get caught up on work after being sick. So my plans just didn't happen. And now we're here, but I'm happy to be back and I have lots of fun stuff planned for the rest of the month and then for December as well, before I go home for some Christmas stuff. And yeah, I'm just really happy to be back yapping at myself in the camera. Today, we're going to be talking about Alexandra Rodriguez and a video that she posted about, I think, a few weeks ago. So I know I'm a little bit late, but it's fine. I've seen some other channels talk about it. The video is called I'm Never Talking About This Again. And in this video, she talks about basically like her journey, I guess, with talking about her weight and stuff on her channel and all of that, and it's kind of just a stream of consciousness about that. I have seen this, I have watched other people react to this, but I felt like it opened up kind of an interesting conversation, and so I wanted to talk about it here. It is kind of like a long segment of a vlog, so if I'm ever like not, I might cut some things out for brevity if I don't have anything to say, but other than that, yeah, let's just get into it. This is part of a vlog, so I'm going to just skip ahead to when she starts talking about this.
Okay, you guys, I am up in my office and I'm about to get ready for the day. I'm gonna take some other content, so I'm gonna like do my makeup, and I haven't yet tried the new like the lighter, less intense shades of the Milk Makeup jelly tints. I can't remember what they're called. It's like they're called soft pink, like the soft colors, so they're a little bit less intense, which I'm really excited about. This one's called Fresh and this one is called Fizz, so it's like pinky and peachy. Also, can we appreciate our new little art here? I got this on Amazon and it just says today's a good day, so I hope it can like add some cheer and some love and just some good vibes to your day, because I'm always sitting right here doing my makeup and I think it's like pretty much perfectly in frame if I have the camera right here. So I don't know, I thought it was just a nice little positive background moment. But I also, while I do my makeup, I wanted to have a little bit of a chat because I had like just such a moment the other night when I was watching this show on TV. I put on YouTube TV because that's what we use for like kind of cable energy. And on the home page was a show called TV Moments That Shaped History, right? And I was like, ooh, this looks fun and interesting. I'd never watched it before. I was just like immediately intrigued. And this one was all about Oprah and this moment in TV history, moment that shaped TV history, TV moment that shaped history. And it was all about when she had lost like 60 something pounds and she pulled out on this red wagon like 60 something pounds of fat, and was talking about how disgusting it was and like, you know, just talking about her weight loss, right? It had showed when.
Okay, so I just want to pause here. I actually talked about this in a video that I did last year, like at the end of last year, when I did a history lesson on, when I did a diet culture history lesson, and it covered like from the late, or no, maybe the early, no, sometime in the 1800s up until the 2000s and how we kind of got here. And I've been meaning to make a part 2 of that video for a very long time because I want to cover modern day. But I talked about this whole Oprah thing in it because I believe she lost this weight that she brought out in the wagon because she was on Slim Fast, I think. And I talked about Slim Fast, or the diet that she was on during this whole wagon era. She actually pulled her endorsement for that product later on because she wound up gaining the weight back that she had lost because it was so unsustainable, and because she had endorsed the product that she was using as a great way to lose weight, but then she wound up gaining the weight back and realizing how dangerous it was. So I feel like that's a important piece of context that's missing here. Just in general. But yeah, so go watch that video if you haven't. I'm really proud of that video, and it got demonetized because I put the sponsor on it too soon in the video. Then I just don't think it got pushed to people. So I'll have that linked wherever I link things because I was really proud of that video, and yeah. So I just wanted to plug that video here using this because I did talk about Oprah time in history in that video.
Women who, you know,
and hold on. I do not believe she said that it was disgusting. I really don't think she said that. This really doesn't matter in the context of what Alex talks about here, but I just want to know, you know? Okay.
I already know that what I did was,
Might as well tell them.
a lot of you already know that what I did was I fasted without cheating for a solid 6 weeks. And Mary Kay, who's a producer on the staff here, got married. And I said to them when I first started this liquid protein medically supervised fast, I said to them when I went in with the counselor that 6 weeks into this, I know I'm going to eat something because I'm given the wedding and paying for the food, so I intend to eat it. And so I did. I cheated, but it was controlled cheating halfway into the diet. But up until 6 weeks, I ate absolutely nothing. I want you to know that whatever diet you choose, and this audience is filled with people who've had great successes, you can do with the help of your family doctor. And if you can believe in yourself and believe that this is the most important thing in your life, as Scott said to us earlier, you can conquer it. Because if I did it, if Scott did it, if Billy did it, you can do it. I thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if that's all she said, but that's for context. She rolled out a red wagon of 67 pounds of fat on TV, was like, I lost this much. And yeah, so there's that, I suppose. Anyways, back to Alex.
I'd seen that, you know, live in that time, and they said it's like this moment in history, in TV history, that like it just has like stuck with them, you know, and it was such a pivotal moment in TV history. And then the rest of the episode continued to talk about, you know, Oprah and her, you know, her career, her amazing career, and, you know, kind of talking more just about the part regarding her weight and how it was always just this huge public topic. Like, oh my gosh, they showed so much. I was immediately like entranced, even though it was just like kind of hard to watch because it all just made me very sad. It was mostly just interesting because it was so societal. It showed how over the years everything was just centered around her weight, like constantly. And this was kind of before, you know, my time. It was constantly her losing and gaining weight and being talked about. And like, she was even getting interviewed on the show once and talking about how she needed to lose more weight. And it's just like, it was so much. And it's just been this huge, I mean, this is not new information to a lot of people, but it just, like, I didn't realize how much her weight had been talked about during her career. I always knew that.
Yeah, and this was something that I actually came across too when I was researching that video, was just how much Oprah's weight was a point of conversation surrounding Oprah in like mainstream media and stuff like that. And I think, and Alex I think talks about this here, but I think at that time it was because the wagon thing was in 1988, but I mean, I was born in 96 and I was aware of things around me later than that. And I remember seeing conversations about Oprah's weight across all kinds of tabloids and on TV and stuff like that. And I just remember that being a very big thing. And her success was very much, I mean, it was talked about too, like Oprah's success and everything, but like, I just remember seeing that a lot, like on TV and on magazines and stuff in the grocery store, that her weight was almost more important than her success, and her constant yo-yoing of weight, losing weight, gaining it back, losing weight, gaining it back. And it does suck that she had to do it on such a public platform. Like, that would be hard for anybody.
There was like, you know, some of it. I knew back when she was like part of Weight Watchers, when I was doing Weight Watchers. And
another thing too is she is now, I believe, is she an owner of Weight Watchers or an investor or something? Because then when they started doing GLP-1 drugs too, she was a big pusher of that recently. I have a Weight Watchers history lesson planned, and I've had it planned for forever. I think I'm going to do it in December, so we'll get there. But yeah, so very interesting. Also, Oprah's a billionaire, so like I'm pretty sure she's going to be fine. But yeah.
You know, it kind of also watching that, it made me really realize how much like our generation of parents had to go through, and why a lot of them were the way that they were / can still be, because it was so normal in the society. And I'm very grateful that like in some of my pivotal years was when like the body positive community started and that whole movement, because I do feel like we really needed that. I have so many thoughts right now. I feel like I'm just about to babble for a very long time, so I apologize, but like it's all just very prevalent on my mind right now. Watching that, I got sucked in for like a while. I was so just shocked at how much also just around that time era, you know, emphasis was put on, you know, being thin and losing weight, and like the aerobics craze around that time. And like how important it was to bounce back after having a baby and to look good for your man. And like, it was just really, really intense. Not to say that we don't even still have that nowadays, but it was like really intense.
I talked about this part, or this whole concept as well, in a video that I did where I was talking about a TikTok that I saw that a fat activist made that I actually agreed with. And like, I think, because me and Alex is a little bit older than me. I'm 28. I think she's in her 30s. But we're still like roundabout the same. And my parents are in their late 50s. So like our parents grew up in a really weird time when it came to diets and diet culture, not the healthiest things being promoted for saying that they are healthy and things like that. And in my diet culture history lesson video, again, I'm very proud of that video. Please go watch it. I talked about how this really wasn't like a unique thing, because every decade kind of had their own fad diet and their own reasoning for the fad diet and things like that. But our parents really, really got the bulk of it in their developmental years as well, and it filtered into the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff like that. And so I think, and Alex says this here about her mom, that her mom did the best she could. I think my parents did the best that they could as well, but now having the historical context of how the media has treated diets and has promoted diets and stuff like that, I think I understand now why my parents kind of looked at food and weight the way they did when I was growing up. And it's just been really interesting to learn more about this. And I kind of had this moment, at least surrounding this, like how the media pushed it and stuff, that Alex is having last year when I researched that video. She's going to get into more stuff surrounding her, which is more of what I wanted to talk about. But I just thought this was interesting because I did a whole bunch of research on this whole Oprah thing last year.
Around like the 80s and stuff. And Oprah's weight was just like this massive public conversation. And it made me think about my public internet journey and how on such a way, way smaller scale, I kind of related, you know? It made me really reflect back on my internet life and career online, and how much of it has been about my weight, also by my own doing. And I was looking back at my old videos, and like my top performing videos of all time, it's all weight related. Like it is like so mind-boggling. I've shared my weight loss surgeries. There's like, I'm losing weight, I'm going to the gym, I'm on Weight Watchers, I want to lose weight for this reason, oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight, my failed weight loss surgeries. It's like, I'm so done with it. Like, I've never been more done. And I feel like I've ever so briefly talked about being done with like talking about weight and all that stuff. But like, I hate how it's such a big part of my internet history.
Okay, so this is more of what I wanted to talk about when it comes to this Alex video. I think her saying "of my own doing" could be where this conversation just cut off, because her comparing this to the Oprah thing was really strange to me, because yes, Oprah talked about her weight a lot on her show, and worked with a lot of like diet companies and stuff throughout the course of her career and everything, and I understand that. But Alex's whole channel, and I say this as somebody who watched Alex from like the beginning of her channel. I used to love her. Like, her whole channel was about being, she used to be called Learning to Be Fearless. It was about being a confident plus size woman, but then she would also talk about if she wanted to lose weight, what she was doing, stuff like that. And I think that spoke to a lot of people. And throughout this whole bit, we're going to hear her have a lot of shame about this past content on her channel. And I really don't think there's any shame to be had. And where I was going with that with Oprah was that Oprah didn't make her show about her weight. Like, Oprah didn't make her show about her body, about her anything like that. She was a news show. Like, she covered important things. Like, that was her whole thing. And her weight just got brought into it. And did she bring it up? Like I said, yes. But I feel like even when she was covering really important things, the media still made it about her weight, right? But Alex, her whole channel has been about being a plus size girl, growing up a plus size girl, dating as a plus size girl. Like, her weight and her size and her body has always been part of her channel. And I'm not saying that she can't just decide to pivot now, but I don't like how she's going to talk about it here. And like I said, she almost has like shame surrounding it and everything, which I think is kind of counterintuitive to what she's saying, because I don't think there should be shame in showing your life on your channel if that's what you chose to do. Like, I've done things on my channel that I no longer like agree with, or I've grown out of, or whatever, but like, that's just growing up. Like, and I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of there, especially when it comes to weight loss surgery and things like that. I had weight loss surgery, so maybe I have a biased opinion, but like, I don't know. I just don't think there's anything to be mad about towards herself here. I will say, well, let's just,
because I am so much more than that. And like, it's such a bummer that it was such a prevalent part of like my life online for so long, even though I know a lot of people related to struggling with weight. But I just think everything about weight, I'm so like, it's worn out. It's been worn out. I wish I could go back and just like, you know, change all those big videos that I've made and talking about weight so much, because honestly, like, it makes me feel like part of the problem, considering how much emphasis I put on weight online for so long. I also do give
I agree that she has been part of the problem, but I don't agree with that being the reason why. And that's also why I wanted to make this video. So if you haven't watched my Alexandra Rodriguez Learning to Be Fearless history lesson, or you just don't know the lore here, Alex publicly lied about having a paniculectomy, which is where you have, it's not a full tummy tuck, but it's where you have like the hanging belly part of your belly removed. And then she publicly lied about that for a really long time, and she played it off as though she got those results from diet and exercise. And that's where she lost a lot of viewers, including myself. I've made a couple videos on that. And she also, not so much anymore, but has been proven to heavily Photoshop her Instagram pictures, things like that, which I think now is pretty much to be expected. But when she was coming up on the internet, it was still very new. I feel, to really edit your photos that much. And it also just all came off extremely hypocritical because all of her content at that point was about loving yourself no matter what, loving your body no matter what stage it was at. If you were losing weight, loving it along every stage of that journey. If you weren't losing weight, just loving it then. Like, that was her whole brand, right? And so I just think that she is part of the problem, and she has been part of the problem, but it wasn't because she was being open and vulnerable about her weight loss. It was because she lied about it, and she lied about it for a really long time. And she did finally apologize for it, kind of, in a video, but she apologized for the wrong things, if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, so that's why I thought this whole thing was kind of silly, because I was like, I don't think you were part of the problem because you talked about your weight so much. Because I think it is just a fact of the matter that growing up bigger, especially when you're a woman, is going to impact your life and is going to impact how you navigate through society and stuff like that. Like, it just does. And I think when she started on the internet, a lot of girls on the internet weren't talking about it. And so that's why I really gravitated towards her as a creator. But then, and I never saw her as part of the problem, as making her size and her weight like a center of her channel. But I did see her as part of the problem when she started lying about having surgeries done to modify her body and not talking about it. Do I think that's an issue with every creator? No. But when it came to Alex, given the context of the rest of her content, that's why I saw it as an issue. And she's never really fully, like, apologized for it. Like I said, she did kind of, but she blamed it on a manager that she had at the time. And yeah, I'll link my history lesson up here, but that's where she was part of the problem, and she never talks about it in this clip. I think her content about her weight and everything made her extremely relatable and made her a very big comfort creator for a lot of girls on the internet for a really long time. And then she became part of the problem and let a bunch of them down when she lied about having plastic surgery.
Myself a lot of grace because I am a product of my environment and society, and I knew and only can like grow and do better. And that's one of the reasons I am very grateful for, like evolving online and, learning to take off so much emphasis from weight and focus on overall health. I don't know if I'm like articulating all of this the right way. I honestly, what I'm trying to say is I hate how much I've talked about my weight over the years on my channel, and like, you will not catch me talking about that.
Keep in mind, after this, I think this week she posted about her first postpartum workout and clickbaited if she was on Ozempic or not. So yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, when she talks about transitioning from talking about her weight to overall health, totally get that point of view. I am trying to get there myself, but as we know, as I am experiencing with the regain that I've experienced after my weight loss surgery, there becomes a point where your weight is part of your overall health and where your weight is impacting your overall health. And then you kind of have to just get real with yourself and be like, hey, I love my body. My body is great. It's gotten to me to where I am today. It's gotten me through a lot of really rough things, but also I have done that, not just my body, weird separation there. But this is also where Alex teeters on some health at every size stuff, which I also covered in my history lesson on her, in that she just kind of refuses to acknowledge that weight is part of your overall health. And there's really no arguing that. She's had some previous controversies with like her OBGYN when she was pregnant, and her weight being an issue there and all that and whatever. I cover all that in my history lesson. And I do think that separating weight from your overall health, or from the idea of overall health, is really dangerous, because your weight is part of your overall health. I have experienced that on both sides of the coin, you know? So yeah.
You will not catch me talking about it anymore. Like, I have absolutely no desire. I am so much more than my weight. You are so much more than your weight. And quite frankly, let's just shut the f up about it. Actually, I feel like I want to go through and even just like private all those videos that are like around my weight. But like, I know it's also a part of my history online, and
it's not even a part of her history online. It's just a part of history in her life. And like, I don't know. I went back to look, and she has hidden a few of her videos in her gastric bypass playlist, but a lot of them are still there. I think just she's been on the internet for so long, and like, I've been on the internet for what, like 4 years, 5 years, and even like I said, I have changed so much in that time. I started when I was like 22 or 23, or no, 24, and I'm now 28. So it's like a lot has happened in that time, and I have grown up a lot in that time. But I'm still going to keep the videos up of me when I was younger, because I've even been told by people that it's been fun watching me kind of grow up and watching me evolve into who I am now. And I think that's what makes the internet so cool, is watching people grow up and evolve into different people, especially when their life is such a big part of their content, like Alex's is, and always has been. And I really just don't think that she should feel all this shame. I understand it. Like, I understand it in the sense that, like, when I had weight loss surgery, and after I learned about health and weight and all of that kind of stuff, there are some things that I look back at, like, that I used to do in terms of like what I was eating, like activity, things like that. And I'm like, Megan, what the hell were you doing? Like, what were you doing, ma'am? What was going on? But like, I have had to learn to just give myself grace with that, because I was just figuring it out. And this whole time, we're all just figuring it out. And while I don't particularly love Alex as a creator anymore, I do think she's being a little bit too hard on herself, but I also think it is kind of a cop-out just to be like, I'm just going to go delete those videos because they're part of a problem, which I really don't think they're part of a problem either, because I think a lot of the content that we have surrounding gastric bypass isn't from younger people, it's from older people. And I think those would have been a good resource for people who had gastric bypass who were younger. That's why I started my channel, because I had my weight loss surgery when I was 22. So yeah, I don't know. I think she's being too hard on herself, but I'm also just like, why delete the videos? Why would you want to hide that? Like, I don't know. I have complicated feelings on all this.
I don't know. I have no desire to leave them up though. Let me know what you guys think about that. I feel like I should just private them, because like, I don't, like, granted, people have seen them and they're out there and they have a lot of views, but like, it's just, it doesn't align.
Part of me also wonders, and this is just me being conspiracy theory tinfoil hat, and I say this as someone who has gained weight after having weight loss surgery and stuff, and has gained weight over the course of me having a channel. I wonder if she's deleting some of those videos because she has faced so much scrutiny about her weight gain and or her lack of weight loss after her surgery. I don't know, just something that ran through my head. Knowing Alex that I have seen throughout the whole course of her channel, and why I have issues with her as a creator in the body positive, quote unquote, space, I can't help but wonder that. So yeah.
With where I'm at now, and I feel like especially becoming a mother, like, I've already had a lot of these moments like before becoming a mom, but the way I want to raise Anderson is going to be so different from the society I was raised in. And my mom did an amazing job. The bottom line is, society was very different when I was growing up. And I think my mom did the best that she could. And I think she did what was all very normal, you know, when I was growing up, considering that like my other chubby friends were also doing Jenny Craig diets and things like that. It was a very unfortunately normal thing at the time. And I'm so grateful that like we've moved past that as a society. You know, we're not perfect by any means, but we've come like a really long way, like in terms of how we talk about bodies. And I want to raise my son to not even look at bodies in a way of like analyzing them. Like, we don't talk about people's bodies, period. Like, there was this very viral TikTok that went around of this teacher and how she taught her students of what is like appropriate to say. And I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's a very,
I'm gonna skip past this part because I really don't feel like, I don't have kids. I've always thought I would have a hard time approaching food and weight and stuff like that with kids. This isn't my bag, so I'm not gonna.
I am so done with every stigma around my body and it being the biggest topic all the time.
I don't know if it would be the biggest topic if she didn't have a history of straight up lying about it. Like, literally lying about it. And I'm always going to talk about that. I'm always going to talk about that because she never does. She apologized for it and then she never talked about it again. And that's why a lot of people don't trust her as a creator anymore, is because of that. And yeah, I don't know if she would have such a stigma around her body if she wasn't a proven liar about the state of it at one point, you know? And I do think it's kind of shitty that like this one thing has kind of altered people's view of her online. But it's not even just that. It's like all of her stuff is like overly sponsored and she doesn't always disclose brand deals and she doesn't always, yeah. There's a lot of other things there, but like the lying about the tummy tuck was like a big thing for her audience, including myself. And yeah, so I don't think there would be as much of a stigma around her body if she didn't lie about it. And she does say that it was that this problem was self-made, but I don't think she is acknowledging the real reason it was self-made. If it was just her talking about her weight all the time, I don't think that would be the issue. It was the lying that was the issue.
I want Anderson to be able to listen to his hunger cues and not have those get messed up by diet culture, because I feel like that totally happened to me and to a lot of people, where you were restricted and then you binge because you were restricted, and then it's just this cycle, and it's so toxic. When he's hungry, he can eat. When he's not hungry, he won't be forced to eat. You know what I mean? It's like, I just want food to be a very safe space for him, and I want movement to be a safe space for him. I want movement to be about feeling good and healthy and strong and eating balanced to feel healthy a million different ways. But that was one of them where I was so in awe watching him exercise now. And I'm so excited to start working out again because honestly, like the older I get too, I want to be able to keep up with Anderson. I want to be able to easily carry him as he gets bigger and carrying his car seat and just playing. Like, that's what it's about. It's not about looking a certain way to fit into society's standard of beauty. Like, it's so nice to finally be past that point where I feel like I've healed from that. But I'm just
but part of being able to keep up with your kid might require weight loss. Like, it probably will, to be honest. Like, if I ever had a kid, I would fully take my weight and everything very seriously, because I'd also want to be around as long as possible for that kid. I don't want kids, but thinking of if I had kids, like, I don't want kids right now, but like thinking of if I had kids, that's like, I would want to be able to keep up with them. And if that involved losing weight, then that involves losing weight.
Really overall feeling super reflective about my internet history and the footprint I have left about weight and weight loss, and it just being this huge point of contention.
You should talk about how you lied about it then, not just the fact that you talked about it a lot. Sorry, I'm waiting for my period to start, so I'm a little bitchy too, but yeah.
And talking for so long. I don't regret sharing, my gastric bypass and I don't regret having it at all. Like, I've kept off almost 100 pounds since having it. I know a lot of people say that I've gained it all back. It's just not true. But also it's like, why are we talking about that? Like, why are we talking about that?
Because you made it your brand for a really long time to be a now fitness girly after you had your weight loss surgery and everything. So yeah, when you talk about that kind of stuff on the internet, people are going to criticize it if it's not working, especially if you're using it to sell things, which if I remember correctly, she did. So that was also part of the problem and part of that conversation.
That is like the real question here. Why are we so obsessed with weight?
I totally understand that. I agree with that. Like, why does it fully matter? Like, and that's also part of why I make the fat acceptance content that I do, and the way that I do it, because I feel like the conversation around weight is like the least important conversation when it comes to any creator that I talk about or criticize on my channel. Their weight, if they are fat, is like the least problematic thing about them. And yeah, so like, I don't fully get why everybody's so obsessed with looks and weight and everything either. And I said that even when I was at my absolute lowest weight after weight loss surgery. And for me, I have found a lot of solace and help in the whole body neutrality outlook on my body instead of like body positivity and stuff like that, because like your body is like, it's important. It's the only one you've got. You should take as good of care of it as possible. But like, also there are certain things about it, that how it looks and whatever, that you can't really control. And so like, weight you can, but like other things, it's like, I don't know. I don't know why we put so much emphasis on weight, and I still haven't really learned that even in my research of diet culture and stuff. But yeah, I agree with her on that. Like, why does it matter? But for her, it matters because she made it such a big part of her channel for such a long time. And so people on the internet are going to have opinions. They might not be nice about them.
To break it to you, society, we're all brainwashed. I think about if the media didn't exist, how different everything would be if there wasn't a preconceived notion of beauty and a standard.
It's not even the media. The media made it worse, but like I've found out in that history lesson, it's just been a thing since the dawn of time. People have been concerned about weight and looks and everything since forever. And there's no escaping it. And I don't think we'll ever see a day of where people don't care. And social media's made it worse, and media's made it worse, and whatever. But like, even before, it's just been a thing forever. And I think I think spending so much time being frustrated with it is unproductive for everybody involved, because it's not going to change. And that might be pessimistic, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think media and social media did make it worse, absolutely. But it has been a thing since forever, like media has. So
talking about bodies and weight, and just how this diet industry is just this huge billion-dollar industry, and how it's all just to profit off of us. Anyway, all of this because of me watching poor Oprah go through this constant weight yo-yo, which so many people do their whole life. I know so many people their whole life that have gone up and down and up and down and up and down. And it's just exhausting. And it's like, it's one of those things too, it's like, when you get so complimented from losing weight, then when you gain weight, you feel horrible because everyone praised you when you were losing weight. And it's like, well, am I less than if I gain weight? Like, just everyone, stop. Just stop the madness. It honestly just broke my heart watching Oprah go through so much in the public eye with her weight. It was just awful. And she is a victim of society. And
Oprah's a billionaire. She's going to be fine. Does it suck that was such a big part of her coming up in media and stuff like that? Absolutely. When she was breaking so many barriers and all of that, 100%. This is where I'm going to end the reaction. 100%. But at the end of the day, now she's a billionaire, so she's going to be fine. Doesn't mean she doesn't have feelings, but she's going to be fine. When it comes to the praise coming from weight loss and feeling horrible from gaining it back, that is something that I completely resonate with, or that completely resonates with me, because it's something that I have been dealing with for a really, really long time, after I started gaining some of my weight back that I lost after I had surgery. And for me, I think what has helped me a lot is looking back at how much losing weight and having weight loss surgery changed me internally and mentally in terms of weight loss, diet, exercise, things like that. It helped me start to enjoy exercise for the first time in my life. It helped me learn how to eat again and all of that. And so like those are things that I could never lose. And for me, it kind of helped me retrain my brain to be like, okay, I've done this once, like I can do it again. You know what I mean? And so while I do feel, and I do think that weight should just be morally neutral. Like I have always said that I think weight should just be morally neutral, and a lot of times circumstance goes into weight gain, like life circumstances goes into weight gain and things like that. And I have learned to give myself a lot of grace with that, but it is starting to affect me and how I feel. And so that's why I'm starting to lose it again. But again, like it helped my general outlook on health and wellness and all of that. And that's something I don't think I would have had I not had weight loss surgery and had I not lost weight with it. I totally understand that the praise surrounding weight loss makes you feel like shit when you do gain some of it back. And that's been something that I've been grappling with for a very, very long time. But yeah, I criticize Alex a lot in terms of like her reasoning for this rant, and I don't necessarily think she was part of the problem for the reasons that she's saying here, which leads me to believe that she has not taken accountability for those things. But I just thought this was an interesting conversation surrounding like growth as a creator, the media and weight and Oprah and all of that kind of stuff. And I figured it was a good little reaction to do. For my first video back, I'm going to be doing a couple other videos this month, so stay tuned for those. And then I have some other fun ones planned for December. And yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a sunshine emoji if you've made it this far. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, drink your water, take your meds if you need them, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.